About 15 years ago, my friend Ross asked me if I'd ever played Colin the Cleaner, to which I said no. And then he told me it's got the most terrifying death noise you'll ever hear in a game, and then he proceeded to do an impression of that death noise, which was... And even though that's an impression of me doing an impression of Ross doing an impression of Colin the Cleaner dying, I have to say he was correct. But I wasn't correct on that occasion. After finally loading the game half a lifetime later, it turns out that I did, in fact, have Colin the Cleaner. And here's today's mystery. It is probably the easiest ZX Spectrum game I've ever played, and yet, as a kid, I never got further than the first level. Let's get into that, shall we? Colin the Cleaner is a pretty difficult game to track down much information on. It was published by everyone's favourite waste of space, Tynesoft. At one point it was packaged with Big Ben Strikes Again in a double pack of pain, and at a different point it was packaged with a game called
Who Said That?
Again in a double pack. It also appeared in the 128 4-pack, and it also appeared in the Micro Value 6-pack alongside some real games. But so far as its original standalone release is concerned, there's barely anything I can find about it, not even any basic cover art. Regardless, thanks to the ever-scrolling text on the intro screen, we find that this game was put together by one Harry S. Price, and a cat for some reason. And the music was Help From My Wife. Okay, Harry, does she not have a name? Also, why are you constantly banging on about cats? Harry S. Price seems to have been quite a factory for Tynesoft, churning out 1001 games I've literally never heard of, such as Tidy Tony...
I don't suppose Flintstone rings any bells, does it?
And Cuckoo, which is definitely not just a rip-off of Saberwolf, and Bubble Run, which is definitely not a rip-off of Spin... Look, you get the sense that there's a theme here, right?
Oh, Christ, Charlie!
Colin the Cleaner, however, while looking and playing like a budget version of a budget game, in the same vein as something like Frankenstein, has you wandering around picking up all the litter in a level before moving on to the next one to do exactly the same thing. It's a puzzle platformer, there are no enemies, just the terrifying realization that you've gone the wrong way and Colin is about to break one of his incomprehensibly fragile legs. Rickets aside, Colin the Cleaner is pretty run-of-the-mill, with just a standard left and right control and an action button. The action button is used to teleport using teleporter pads, because that's what cleaners do, or for sliding down ladders, which you can't climb back up, because nothing in this game has really had any thought put into it whatsoever. Every level is supposed to be part of a museum, but every level just looks like someone dropped rolls of Christmas wrapping paper everywhere. The sound and music are exceptionally basic, as you'd expect from a game like this, but they're also not even thematically anchored. To step back into Ross's childhood for a second, no wonder he was scarred for life by this horrific noise. Why would anyone expect him to do that? Equally, why the f*** is a wonky version of Chariots of Fire play when you die? What did Vangelis ever do to you, Harry's wife? You know, I could kind of forgive all of this if it wasn't for the fact that the level design is so plucked out of thin air, and some levels barely require you to even think. The thought process here is generally, okay, which area can I not escape from? This one here, I guess. There's no way to get out of this area, so that must be the last place I go to. Cool. I'll just go everywhere else first and then finish up here. And lo and behold, there's the exit. 15 levels of that with no changing, and the only reason you'll ever die is because you've literally fallen asleep while playing. So if the game really is that easy, what was my issue? Why did I never get past level 1 as a kid? And why did it take me 30 minutes to work out how to do it now? Well, let me show you. What do I do now? having never played the game before and having no access to any instructions, I went everywhere trying to find some sort of exit out of this first level, but no, nothing worked. I tried loading in 48k, I tried loading in 128k again just because I'd run out of ideas. Nothing. No exit. So I go where everyone goes when they can't work out what to do on the first level of Colin the Cleaner. I go to YouTube, and this one looks good. The Video Games Museum, posted 4 years ago. This should show me what I need. I can literally hear their thought process here. What the hell have I missed? Okay. Alright, just quickly fade out to black. Well, that was absolutely useless to me. How about Pet Sass Gym 1? This one was only about 2 months ago. Let's see how they did.
I've made a terrible mistake.
Right, nope, fair enough, it's definitely not just me then. Okay, one more try. How about ZX Spectrum Games 4, released 9 years ago when every video on YouTube had unregistered Hypercam 3 plastered into the top left of their gaming videos. What does he do? Well, I'll cut to the chase. It seems the first level is bugged unless you complete it 100% correctly. It seems the exit will only appear if the very last thing you pick up is the red can at the top of this platform. It's not supposed to work like that. It doesn't work like that in any other level, just this first one. The very first level is broken. In fact, like some sort of beautiful bookmark, the last level is also broken. What I will say is this. Thank God for emulation and save states, because after completing the final level and realising it had done exactly the same thing again, I was patting myself on the back for hitting quick save right before attempting it. I then played through the entire level again, doing absolutely nothing differently, and the exit appeared. Good work, Harry. Maybe you should have put the cats in charge. That's not the only bug in the game, and certainly not the first time I was glad that a quick load wasn't far away. Here's Colin, with his head stuck in a roof. He can't move. This is Colin's life now. Or at least until the interminably slow timer kills him off. You might think that all of this is bad enough as it is. Poor graphics, poor sound, baffling thematics, boring level design, bugs out the wazoo. But get this, right? Get this. Colin the Cleaner, right? Colin the Cleaner. It's not even an original game. Remember that list of games that Harry S. Price had put together for Tynesoft? Remember how they all look like clones of other games? Well, that's what we in the YouTube business like to call excellent foreshadowing, because Colin the Cleaner is, in fact, a shitter version of a free game called Ralph on Alpha 2, something that could be found on 16/48 magazine tape 18, not the catchiest of names for magazine tape, but let's let that one slide. Now, when I say the game is a clone, it's a clone in everything but graphics and level design, and both things are worse in Colin the Cleaner. I mean, even the opening text crawl is ripped directly from the original program. The thing here, right, the thing that's so stupid about all of this, the original thematics make sense when we're looking at a game where you're in some sort of sci-fi future world. Teleporters? I get it now. Ropes that you can climb down? Well, that makes a hell of a lot more sense than ladders you can't climb up. The death noise! It's a sci-fi death noise! So yes, there we are. Ralph on Alpha 2, a game by Darren Farmer and Andrew S. Dunn that was either wholesale ripped off, or they simply sold it onto Tynesoft who proceeded to ruin it. Do I recommend Colin the Cleaner? No. I recommend Ralph on Alpha 2, because the levels are actually tailored to the gameplay, and get this, the exit appears on level 1 when it's f***ing supposed to.
Maybe we should just take a break. Maybe we should just take a break.
Break!